do you do? There's something I'd like to say to you. Don't be surprised, you'll recognize I'm no detective, but I just surmise you're from the place where I long to be. Your smiling face seems to say to me, you're from my own land, my sunny homeland. Tell me, can it be? Are you from Dixie? I said from Dixie, where the fields of cotton beckon to me. I'm glad to see you. Tell me, how be you? And the friends I'm longing to see. If you're from Alabama, Tennessee, or Caroline, any place below the Mason-Dixon line, then you're from Dixie. Hooray for Dixie, 'cause I'm from Dixie too.
During the American Civil War, Yaupon tea was used as a coffee substitute throughout the South. Yaupon continued to be a common drink until the early 1900s, when its use became stigmatized as a drink for rural, poor Southerners. You see, Yaupon plants are abundant in the South, and you can make the tea for free from the leaves. And so it was no longer in vogue. Several attempts were made to market the tea for its wonderful flavor and many health benefits, including antioxidants and caffeine. It was even considered as a base for a soft drink. Imagine, Yaupon tea instead of Coca-Cola. Just a few years ago, in the early 2000s, Yaupon tea began to witness a resurgence in popularity, and now it can be purchased at several historical sites related to Native Americans and also through regular online stores. Tea purchased this way is expensive though, often costing $8 to $10 an ounce. In my opinion, Yaupon leaves make an awesome tasting tea. It's somewhat reminiscent to green tea, but it has a better flavor because there are undertones, and then it also has caffeine in it. Now, when collecting the leaves, avoid branches that have any berries on them because the berries will make you vomit. I have some additional information on how to tell this plant from others in the narrative down below the video. There are many different ways to prepare Yaupon leaves to make tea. The first thing is that the leaves need to be dried or toasted to release the caffeine in a similar way that you roast coffee beans. The traditional approach was to cut fresh branches and put those on rocks that are in a fire until the leaves turn brown, or to put them in a clay bowl in the fire, and then at that point then the leaves turn, and when they turn brown, then you put water on top of it and boil it for hours until you have a really dark black drink. And I prefer to make my own tea a little lighter than that, not as strong. And so when making tea at home, I either air dry the leaves, I take the branches, just let them dry in the garage for a few weeks until the leaves fall off, and then I take those leaves and use that for tea. And so that takes a few weeks, but it really works well. A second way that I do at home is I put leaves out on a cookie sheet. And here's some leaves that I've done that way. I put them on a cookie sheet, and I then put them in the oven, set at 175 degrees for about an hour. They turn light green like this. And then I break them up and then use them like ordinary tea. And it's a really nice flavor. Another way I do it is if I want a different flavor, I roast them in the oven at 400 degrees for just a few minutes until they turn brown. But you have to be careful with that so you don't burn the leaves, otherwise it sort of has a scorched flavor. Each approach is a little bit different. If you try this sort of tea, try preparing the leaves in different ways and see which ones you like. Well, right now, I'm going to take these that I collected right here, And I'm going to put them into this pot, and in putting them into the pot, then I'm going to put that in the fire and roast the leaves similar to the way that was done by Native Americans. So I just take the leaves and put them into the pot. And if I get a few branches in there, that's okay too. And I'm going to make this a very strong tea. So since it'll be done somewhat the way of the black tea. Now, nobody knows exactly what, at least outsiders don't know what the black tea actually was like, because although Yaupon was the base, there were other herbs added and other things as part of the traditional ceremonies. And so we don't know what those were. But the base to the tea is the black drink, are the Yaupon leaves. The leaves are dark now, so I'm going to add some water and boil it. I've let the black drink settle. Oh, it looks good. Smells good too. And this is the weaker version of it that's brewed with leaves that aren't as dark. And I brewed it in my coffee pot. Historically, the mutual consumption of the black drink meant that the drinkers were on friendly terms. In 1772, the explorer David Tate wrote in his journal, "The Creeks almost invariably demonstrated their peaceful intentions towards visitors by inviting them to participate in their daily black drink. If visitors came from distant locations where Yaupon didn't grow, they were sometimes given packets of Yaupon leaves or Yaupon plants so that they could make their own tea." The black drink served as a mediator of social communications. It represented purity, peace, and friendliness. So with that, I invite you to symbolically drink Yaupon tea with me. the lighter weight version that looks more like green tea, or the original black drink. Until next time, peace. Sure is good. We'll be making this tea and handing out packets of Yaupon leaves at the Spring Bushcraft Meetup in Tennessee. Hope you can make it. Details on that meetup are listed down below in the narrative.